Hey there, want to learn about real world asset tokenization? Of course you do. That's what we're going to discuss today. Every day, 7 days a week, I bring a tool, a tip, or an analysis of a coin. So we're going to talk briefly about ONDO, which is a coin whose goal is real world asset tokenization. We talked about this yesterday, the fact that there's some legislation, or at least the Finance Committee and the federal government's discussing it. That's great. It's always good to have some regulation, if you will, at least so people know. It helps markets know and understand what the boundaries are and what the rules are. All right. So what we're going to do here is go over to, we've done this before, coinmarketcap.com, and look under categories, and let's pull up with respect to, accept all cookies, love that, real world asset tokenization. There should be a category for real world assets. So here we are, the real world asset tokenization category. And we start with, they have them listed out. They have Avalanche, which you're probably familiar with, a layer one. Then they've got Chainlink, you're probably familiar with as well. ICP. Now, some of these fit many different narratives. In other words, they may be like ICP. There are so many things it can be applied to. So many narratives that it fits into, not just real world asset tokenization. ONDO is just one of many, but that's the one we're going to talk about today. This is never financial advice. I happen to have bought some, not telling you to buy it. I'm just going to use it as an example because I like the fact that they're actually doing it right now. Oftentimes with crypto, just like startup companies, they might paint a picture of what's going to happen in the future. Here's our roadmap. Here's what we intend to do. And we're going to do that in the future. Invest in us. ONDO at the moment has some real world asset tokenization of treasury bills. And I think that's fascinating. And I'll give you an example why, and I'll show you their site and how it works. So if we click into ONDO, we'll see here, we went over this the other day, the fact that it shows that their market cap is 1.7 billion, but that's only 1.4 billion coins in circulation. So their market cap that they show on that main page of 1.8 billion is circulating supply, 1.4 billion coins, times the current price of $1.29 a coin. What's their fully diluted? Well, it's 12 billion. Why do I point that out? Well, I want to point that out because first on the list was Avalanche. ONDO's down here as number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look at Avalanche. Their fully diluted market cap is 23 billion. So ONDO is actually half of that if you look at the fully diluted. So if you haven't used CoinMarketCap before, this is what I like. They have a lot of quick links here. On the left side, you can quickly just click and go to the website, and you can go right to the white paper, which if you really want to do research on these coins, that's where you dig in. Now, let's go to the website here. And as you scroll down, you can see they tell you their mission, financial inclusivity through efficiency, through on-chain institutional grade financial products and services. Okay, yesterday's video, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch it. I played some of what was spoken about in front of the financial committee and the gentleman who was talking about one example of the tokenization of dividends received from stock and how that would be much more efficient than the way it's currently done. You scroll down here, it tells you who they're partnering with and working with. You see BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, of course Coinbase, but when it comes to BlackRock and Morgan Stanley, you're talking about huge amounts of money, huge. And then you're talking about financial firms. Some of these others here are cryptos, but these are very important, especially with regard to one of their tokens. Now they have up here, you can go to what's called Flux. That's where we're going to go. Now, what do they do? Well, on Flux, you can lend and you can borrow. That's not the cool part yet. Now what you can, and they tell you how much you can make when you lend or borrow. Let's just click in here to lend. If I wanted to lend one of these 4 types of stable coins, this is how much I would get, 4 to 4.5%. And then I can also borrow if I want to borrow. But that's not the tokenization part. Here we go. They have 2 different coins here, the OUSG and the ROUSG. So what are they doing? Here you go. OUSG provides liquid exposure to short-term US Treasuries with 24/7 stablecoin mints and redemptions. All right. If you're not familiar with US Treasuries, let's go to the Treasury website. So here's the government's Treasury website where you can buy Treasuries. And what you may not know is that unlike a CD with a bank, you go into the bank, you want a CD, here's my money, here's your month or 3-month CD, whatever it may be. When it comes to Treasuries, They've got them in different denominations, like 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 13 weeks, and you have to go to their schedule because you can only buy them on their auction dates, certain days of the week, depending upon which one it is, a 13-week bill, a 26-week bill, and they tell you which day you can purchase them on. So in other words, you can't just get them any business day. You can't get them any day of the week. You can only get them on the auction dates when they're available. Okay, so that's fairly inefficient, right? But what they're doing, and this is why they say OSG provides liquid exposure, you can buy and sell these 24/7. You can't do that. You just saw on the Treasury website, you want to buy it, well, you've got to go through one of the auctions. So what you do here, I'll just read it. Investing in US Treasury bills is an ultra low risk investment option, delivers a stable and predictable return while offering deep liquidity. Okay, that has nothing to do with the tokenization. They're just talking about Treasury bills. Now, who uses Treasury bills? A lot of people who want to have the very low risk. They believe this is an incredibly low risk investment, US Treasuries. In other words, lending money to the government, and they're going to pay you back a return. Very popular, particularly among the people who are retired. Because oftentimes what they'll do is they'll just roll over these treasuries, 4 week, a 13 week, whatever it may be. And then when they come up, they mature, they then just get another one and they go through that process. Well, this would make the buying and selling of it really fast and really easy. And they do it in two different ways. Now they show you their fee schedule, the minimum amount to redeem, the minimum amount to mint. But here's what I think is really cool. Look at this. Token versions. They have two different tokens. The OUSG token is an accumulating version that reflects income in the form of an increasing share price. So in other words, you put in your $10,000, you get a 4.5% return, whatever it may be. In this case, it's almost as if they just keep throwing the money back in. They don't actually give you that yield. It just increases the value of that bill, so to speak, because you're buying, and I think they have the share price right here. It's 106.57 at the moment. So in that case, you can choose that you're going to take this token, and that token will just increase in value. And then when you redeem it, it has the value of what you put in plus your yield. Another way to do it is there are OUSG right here, a rebasing version with a constant $1 share price that pays out interest daily as new tokens. So that token will not change the share price to reflect the yield. It's going to stay at $1, and then you're going to get paid out interest daily in the form of more tokens. I think it's fascinating. And all you do, you see here, I already connected my wallet. You can go in and put USD, and you can choose one of those two. You want the OUSG or you want the ROUSG. Why do I find this so interesting? I find this amazing because they're doing it right now, and I can grab those T-bills and I can use it, and so can anyone else 24/7. So if you've got cash and you want to diversify into things like CDs or treasuries, low risk, still get a decent yield, this is taking an older way of doing something, moving it forward and making it instantaneous. Incredibly valuable in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll have another tool, tip, or coin that we'll discuss. And until tomorrow, like I always say, let's make generational wealth together with crypto. Thanks for watching.